If you have ever thought, I'm boring, I am so not interesting, I could never have a personal brand, it's just not gonna work for me, this is for you, because I cannot wait to prove you wrong. I was a ICU pharmacist who had a midlife career change / crisis and started my own business. Out of nowhere, really. I was like, how freaking unrelatable is that? So unrelatable. Well, actually, I found out it is pretty relatable, just not in the way that I originally thought it would be. And that's what we're gonna talk about today. We're covering 3 areas that are key to going from you thinking, I could never have a personal brand, I'm so boring, to other people saying, oh, she's the one who does XYZ. So let me break down what that's gonna look like. First, we're gonna go through your brand identity markers and how to set that up and figure out what those are. Then I'm gonna walk you through the things that your audience needs to know about your brand before they will open up and start buying from you. And then last, but definitely not least, this is probably the most important part for most of you, how you're gonna start showing up before you are fully confident with what those brand markers are. Before we get into it, welcome to the table, take a seat. This is where we chat about all things mom entrepreneur life, from marketing to strategy to building your business to scaling your business to dealing with the tantrum while you were trying to record content. I don't have my normal coffee today, but I do have a fridge cig. So grab your drinks, pull up your seat. If you are not subscribed yet, press subscribe for me. That is like reserving your seat at the table so you get all of these tips and tricks every single week. Let's jump into it. Okay, I want to talk a little bit first about why you think your life is boring and why you are so wrong. The things that feel the most normal to you are actually the things that are the most specific to you. And the things that are the most specific to you are reasons why people follow you. So while you are used to them, while it's normal and boring to you, it's actually the exact opposite to a lot of other people. You just never give people the chance to tag into those things and connect them to you because you're like, no one wants to know about this. When in reality, they do want to know where you got your kitchen plates from, or where those shoes are from, or how you manage 4 kids in the morning by yourself. That's normal to you, but it's not to a lot of other people. And that's where your mindset shift has to start. So instead of saying that I'm just a mom, like, no, you're a mom to a ballet dancer, or no, you're self-classified household executive, or maybe you are also a skincare guru on top of being in healthcare. There are so many specific things about you that you can really tee in on here to be a part of your identity markers. Basically, to really simplify this down, your identity markers are things that make you you and nobody else. So you are not just a fitness coach. You are a fitness coach who has this, and this that separates you out from all the other fitness coaches out there right now. And that's what we're gonna kind of tease apart. So for me, I'm a business coach. I'm also a firefighter wife. I have Irish twins. I have a healthcare background, and I specialize in attraction sales and holistic systems management. If you pull out any one of those things on their own, it might be easy to connect that to somebody else in the same area or niche audience. But when you throw all of that together, it is super individualistic. And so instead of people thinking, oh, that's Dana, she coaches moms in business. Oh, that's Dana, she's got a lot going on. She's a firefighter wife, she's got Irish twins, she's really good at attraction sales, and she teaches moms how to put all of this together and make it sustainable in their season of life. That's so much more specific, right? That's how you really want to be able to differentiate yourself from the bland core group of what your niche looks like into your own personal brand. Okay, so we're gonna start by helping you figure out what those actual identity markers are, because it can be hard sometimes to be able to pull those apart of like what's actually special and different about me when you're thinking about it in your own view or your own eyes. So I want you to grab a journal, a piece of paper, get on your laptop and start just brain dumping what comes to mind in these categories. So first you're going to look at what your current job is, your background, what you did before this. So it doesn't have to be like a crazy career shift, but maybe you focused on a certain area before, or maybe you had specific products that you sold before and have transitioned that a little bit. So what did that look like before this chapter of life? Your family setup and why it's made you really good at what you do. You might not be able to fully connect this yet, but we'll kind of work towards that. So for example, my husband's gone a lot. We've got 2 young kids. And because of that, I'm able to say I can manage my business in this type of environment. And that's what allows me to be really good at helping other moms strategize and work through that themselves. Maybe your husband is a super picky eater and you do nutrition coaching. So how you manage that with a picky eater husband and those recipes makes you really good at being a nutrition coach and allowing that to mold into people's full lifestyles versus just them. So those are just some examples of like how you can think about how to mold that. That might take some thought, but you'll figure it out. And finally, what you do and what you actually specialize inside of it. So when I was talking about attraction sales and holistic systems management, that's my specialty inside of business coaching. If you are a website designer, maybe you specialize in a specific type of website or sales. If you are a virtual assistant, a VA, maybe you specialize in helping speakers or moms. If you're a fitness coach, maybe you specialize in glucose management. That's your specific specialty inside of what you do. So really key in on that as well. Those 3 things together are going to be your brand's foundation. So you'll kind of mold and move these around. We're going to talk about this in a couple of different steps later, but this is going to be where you start. This is where your brain starts working and those wheels start spinning on what does my actual brand identity look like and how can I use this in a way where it feels very natural to me and my lifestyle. So write these down, continue to think about it, add to this list as you think of things, and we're going to come back to this. Okay, so as we build out this brand identity and this list of things that we're going to talk about and mold into our identity, I want to talk about 3 things that your audience needs to know about you, from you, before they start to buy from you. So the first is who you truly are. This isn't like the fake made up version. This is literally who you are. I'm the girl who loves a good ice cold fridge cig or a cup of coffee or a glass of wine throughout my day. And I like cuddling with my kids at night. I'm not afraid to talk about my life and what I enjoy and what that looks like. And that makes me a real person. And I think especially now when we're talking about this age of AI where it's really difficult sometimes to be able to tell what's fake and authentic, that authenticity, if you're comfortable sharing specific things about your life, make you a real person. And the more real somebody is, the more they will start to trust you and trust your expertise in what you do. That's how they slowly start to come into your world, buy from you, be a part of your community, refer you out, be a retained client, all of those things. You have to be a real person. And if you show up as someone different than who you really are, the moment you get on that sales call, the moment you talk to someone via voice memo, and then like your whole attitude changes a little bit later, people get confused. So no fronts, no trying to be somebody you're not. Be you authentically and continue in that mindset because that's what will gain trust. And it's also going to be the least stressful. Just show up as yourself. They also need to know what you've figured out that they have not yet. This is why they're following you. For me, that could be they don't know how to talk to people in their DMs. They don't know how to manage a household and a business at the same time in a way that doesn't make them want to pull their hair out. All of those things can kind of come into pulling someone into your ether, right? And you don't have to be an expert at any of those things per se, like whatever you define those areas as, but you need to be one step ahead of who you're talking to. When you think about people and why you follow somebody, it's usually one of 2 reasons. Either they are your end goal. What they're doing, where they're at, is where you want to be. And so you're following them because you want to get there also. Or you see yourself in them. You see yourself in their journey and you're following along with that journey because it's relatable. It's usually one of those 2 things. So you want to fit into those frameworks for people to be like, yes, I want to follow them. I want to see how this goes. I want to learn from them. You also got to be someone who genuinely knows what they're talking about. No fake it till you make it, no BS. Talk about what you're confident about, what you've learned. And I think the important part there too, though, is that you need to be confident in what you know and what you've learned and how you can project that knowledge to other people. Because maybe you're the smartest person in your area, but if you can't have a conversation with somebody on why you're that person, what gives you so much passion about that area, it's difficult for people to see that authority in you. So work on being confident in what you provide. And then as you continue to talk about these things, people will see you as the trusted option for your area of expertise. So when all three of those areas are present in your content, in your posts, your stories, in your conversations with people, trust will start to build very quickly. If you're missing any one of those things, if it's inauthentic or it feels forced, it's the opposite. It's either a very slow roll or you just don't really gain any traction at all. So think about all those different areas as you continue to grow this brand identity. Okay, one thing I always hear is like, I don't feel ready. Like I don't know what to post. I don't know what to do. I have to have all of this figured out and it has to be perfect before I press start. And that's the worst thing that you can do for yourself. Press start. Press start before you feel ready, because honestly, you will get into a mindset where you never feel ready and you're just never going to press start. So just start doing it. There are millions of people on Instagram, billions of people on the internet. If something doesn't go crazy viral, if you have a post that flops, I'm going to be really honest with you right now. Nobody cares. No one is watching you so intently and so closely that if that post gets you 97 views and you feel like a failure, nobody else cares. All you can do is learn from what you're posting, what you're doing, how you're showing up, and use that information to get better. If you don't suck at something, then you also don't know what you're good at. You have to have that contrast to be able to understand what the next best step is. So just put it out there. Try things. Try things with the thought process of like, I could fail and that's okay. Even with the thought process of I'm aiming to fail so I can learn from this. I talk about that a lot because that's the best way for you to grow and the quickest way for you to get better at what you're doing. So when someone asks me, okay, what should I post next? They hate me for this answer, but I'm going to tell you to post what you want to post. Post what's on your heart. Post what you think is next, especially if we're in the earlier stages of your business or your profile, because we need that data to be able to accurately move you forward. I could tell you what to post. I'm probably not your ideal client. I'm not someone who's in your audience who's looking from the outside. I'm looking from the inside. And so it's not really going to do anything good for you. So I just want you to post and then we'll look at that together to grab that data and figure out what your next step is. But you just got to do it. You got to be okay with it not being perfect every single time, because that will stress you out, that will burn you out, and that is not the goal here. So here's how I want you to get started. I want you to go back to that first list that we created together where we're talking about these different brand identity markers. You're going to pick one thing a day, at least one thing a day, and you're going to post about it in your reels, in a post, in a carousel, in your stories, and you're going to see what starts to land. You're going to watch what people say back, what they reply to, if they comment, if they like, if they share. And as you get more information from those things, you're going to start to piece together what people are clinging to the most. And all of those beautiful things about your life, they're going to key in on a couple of specific areas. So do more of whatever gets a reaction. If you post about your firefighter husband and you get a ton of like, oh my God, how do you do that? Or that's such a crazy lifestyle, or whatever kind of reactions you get. And then you post about your obsession with skincare and you get crickets. You know what to focus on. You know what people are clinging to about you personally that makes you interesting. So that's what you're going to be able to start to see the more that you do these things. When you post that skincare routine and no one says anything, that's a learning opportunity. That doesn't mean you suck at life. That's just something to learn from, and you're going to pivot towards what people are reacting to more. And just keep repeating that. This isn't going to conform over the course of 3 days. You're going to need time and effort in all these different areas in these posts to actually get true data about that. So put these things together and give yourself time. Allow yourself the time to post and play in different times and with new followers and see what starts to connect, and mold your brand identity into that. Give yourself time. This is not a sprint, it is a marathon. As you see this pattern start to form over the course of weeks, those key areas of your life will start to form into these identity markers and be areas that you can more keenly focus in on in different ways now that you have that data of what people are clinging to in terms of your lifestyle and your brand. To make this just super simple, you don't build this by planning. You build this by doing and learning. You do this by showing up. You can't just create this in your head and be like, these are the 3 things that everyone's gonna love about me, because I'm gonna tell you you're probably wrong. So do it, show up, grab the data, and then pull that together for your brand markers, and that's going to be the perfect combination. You will always continue to build by showing up. You will never build appropriately when you sit at a table and you say, okay, this is what everyone's going to want, because you are not everybody. It's probably actually completely wrong if you do it that way. So utilize, a little bit of humility in this approach and allowing yourself to try things and see what people connect to and what they don't, and pulling that information together to build this beautiful brand of yours. Something that a lot of people won't just directly say is that the people who think that they are the least interesting are actually the ones who are probably the most interesting. They are the most relatable. They have the most insight and these specific quirks that people really attach to. They just don't see it yet. So if you are that person, allow yourself the ability to see it. Try new things, put yourself out there, and that will ultimately get you closer and closer to your goals. Okay, so if you are still like, I still don't know, Dana. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna put a quiz for you in the description down here. It's going to ask you some questions and then tell you what your mom entrepreneur type is right now. What this will do for you is it's gonna give you the things that you're really good at, and then it's also gonna give you your blind spot. But I want you to figure out and see what you're really good at. And that can start to trigger some thought processes on what you can focus on in this whole brand marker identity exercise. So take the quiz, it'll take you 2 minutes, it'll give you some information, and you can use that to get started here. Okay, that's it for today. If you learned something, if you like this, leave me a like, a comment, subscribe for me. We will be back next Thursday with more stuff for mom entrepreneur life. So we'll see you then.